Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this lecture, we are going to explain about function, JavaScript function expressions. What is expression in JS? So here we have a question: what is a function expression? A function expression is a way of defining a function by assigning it to a variable. Just you have to create a function definition and assign to a variable. Okay, the function can be anonymous without a name. A function can be anonymous without a name. Anonymous means what? Without a name. You have to create a function without a name. That is anonymous function or named function, and it created at runtime when the execution reaches its definitions. So for this hack we have simple definitions. A function expressions means what? We create a function. We simply create a function and store it inside a variable. Then we use the variable name to call the function. That is your function expressions. So here let me explain here with proper example. It is a very simple, guys. Just use here this is here function. Here let me create it here function. Then okay, let me here inside here we have to pass the product size. Product price, then text rate here. Then inside it here we will return product. This is it is not kept. This one product price plus, then inside it here product price, then multiply it text rate. Got it? Why we got in the issue here? Parameter price, this is a function, then product price and text price, and then here we have to just pass your values. Let final amount is equal to your function name. Okay. The issue, that here it is fine, because you see the definition, a function can be anonymous without a name. So you see here we have the function, but we have no name. Okay, here we have no assign any name for this function, so let's say it is anonymous function, guys. Okay, let's make it a kind of named function. Here you have to just put a function name, that is calculate total price. This is here calculate total price, and then this one here you have to assign to this variable and pass your values. Then your text rate point it in. Then here simply here we have to console.log and your final price. So just here we have to execute your files, node mind underscore script underscore 38, and you see your value 1180. Okay, so this is your function. Got it? So this is your function definition. Here you have wrote the function's name, that is fine, but you see here what is the definition of your function expression. A function expression is a way, it is a way of defining a function by assigning it to the variable. You have look at here, assigning it to a variable. It means here simple, you have to create a function definition, okay, and directly you have to assign a variable. That particular function you have to assign a variable, okay, and make sure that here that function could be an anonymous function or named function. Anonymous function means without a name, a function that is anonymous function, and with, you see, this is a named function because here with the function's name. If you remove this, calculate total price, this is an anonymous function. So now here first we have to work on the definitions. A function expression is a way of defining a function by assigning it to a variable. So this is so this is your normal function. Now here I want to go to make it an expression. So how you can do it? So let me copy this function, simple, paste it, let me remove this. Got it? Now here it is anonymous function. Let me remove this Then here I am going to define. I have already told you, just this is your function definition, okay, and you have to assign a variable directly. So that's why I am going to here define const and your functions, okay, hence and this is your function expression, guys. So this is your function definition and assign a variable. You see here, you see the definition, assign it to a variable. So that's why here this function we have to assign with variable. Calculate total price, it is equal to cost, and then here same thing that we have earlier did here. Then here you have to remove this, and then you see here, let final amount calculate total price. Inside it here you have to pass this 1000, you got it here product price, and this is your tax rate, and then final amount you have to just execute, and you got it your output. And you see same thing, guys, so I hope you got the idea about what is a function expression. Here you have to define your function expression and assign to a variable, okay. And you see this one, what a function can be anonymous, okay. Here you can define a function without a name. You see here this is anonymous function. Here we don't have any functions name, but here we have a functions name here, calculate total price. Got it? So I hope you got idea about your function expressions. Then next it is here about your anonymous functions. This is here anonymous function is a function without a name. It is often used inside a function expression, okay, or as argument to the another functions. So here it is simple definitions. Just you will understand this one. Greet user is equal to functions, and then inside it here we have to return this is welcome to JavaScript. You see here a function has no name. You see here basically here after the before the parenthesis here, okay, let me make the spaces here. I am talking about here, this is your parenthesis, but here you see here, okay, the function has no name, okay, any name. Here you see here it is nothing, guys. Got it? So anonymous function is what? A function is a function here. Anonymous function is a function without a name. So you see this function has no name. Got it? This is function keyword, but here you don't have a function's name. Got it? So the variable greet user is used to call it simply. Here with the help of this one you can call these functions. So this is about your anonymous function. Just here you have to remove your function's name and it will become anonymous functions. The next is here about named function expression. You know already about this one, okay. Or here a named function expression is a function expression where the function has its own internal name. You know already about that. This one is here. Let's create a function const. This is here calculate sum. It is equal to function and add numbers. Inside it here to pass num1, then num2, and inside here we have to return num1 plus num2. Got it? So use here this function has the name, this one 8 numbers, okay. So variable names, it is a calculated sum, and internal function name 8 numbers. This one, guys, here this function has the name 8 numbers. Got it? So usually we don't need to use the internal name. Got it? Like here this one anonymous functions. So about what is the named function expressions and anonymous function expressions. Got it? It is simple thing, guys. Then here we have the function declarations. We've already defined about these things. Here a function declaration is a way of defining a function using the function keyword followed by the function's name. It is hoisted to the top of its scopes. Let's define a function that is here calculate area, then inside here we have to return length multiplied with width, okay. So you see this is your function declaration. Here you define a function, this is function declarations. So it is simple, it is function declaration. Then here we are about hostings. Hosting is JavaScript behavior of moving function declaration to the top of their scope during the compilation phase, allowing them to call before they are defined in the code. Here we have the example. So okay, here let's define let result is equal to multiply numbers inside here 4 and 5. Then we have function multiply numbers. Let me copy this directly. Your function's name, inside here you got it your a parameter, b parameters. Then here we have to return a and b. Got it. So here you see this one. Okay, this work because function declaration is hosted. I mean here you call this function, then here what happen, this function it is go to above to this line. Okay, I mean here whenever you call these functions, because this function will be hosted, I mean this function you got it here above this line. Okay, about 92, and this is a function, guys. Okay, so that's why here it is work. Here even you can console.log and it's work. Okay, so even here you have to just write what console.log, check it here your result and check it here how it's work. And you see it is your result 20. That is fine, guys. Okay, now let me here we have another function that does not work here. Let me define let result. Okay, I think we need to copy it, comment, then reuse it here. Okay, so I mean here you have to pass the value, that is fine. But if you try to write like this, you have to cut from here and assign a variable. Then this is wrong, guys. Okay, even because function expression is not hosted like declarations. This declaration will be hosted, but this is your expression. It is not hosted. Let me check it here, and you got the error. You see cannot access multiply number before initialization. Got it? So this is wrong because here you have sign of variables, but you see here it is nothing. So that's why it is caused the issue. It is very simple. Next it is and last one about callback function. It is very simple. A callback function is a function that is passed as an argument to another function and it is executed inside that functions. Here you will easily understand with the example. So that's why here we have the example. So functions here execute task, then okay, this is here task and then task functions, then inside we have to return task functions. Got it? Then you see here let me create another function const. So here message it is equal to here functions, then inside it here we have to return what this is here simple task completed. This is here, then here we so log your function execute task and you have to pass as argument your another function. Okay, so let me again you have to read your definition of callback function. Callback function is a function that is passed as an argument to the another functions. You see here we have passed in this function executed task, we pass another function. So message, you see this is a function, in this function we have passed as an argument to this execute task function, that is a task function. So message you got it here task functions, and then here you have to execute net. A callback function is a function that is passed as an argument. You see this is an argument here in this function we pass inside execute task. We pass a function, this function as argument, here as argument to the another function. In this function we pass this function show message, and is executed inside that function. And this function we will execute in this function execute task. That is your callback functions. Here show message is passed as an argument. Here this is a function, this one execute task, and inside here we pass the another function show message as an argument. It is executed inside a execute task functions. Here task functions, this is here, and it is a callback functions. Got it? So about idea about your callback function. So it is all about your JavaScript function expression. Got it? So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.